Middays on SuperTalk Mississippi. Joining us now, Josh Hazel, the president of the Mississippi chapter of the Tesla Owners Club. Appreciate you coming on, Josh. Welcome to Middays.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks, Gerard. I appreciate it.
All right, so give us the information. Give us an overview of this House Bill 401 and what it is designed to achieve.
Right. So same bill, new year. Right. Same thing. They tried to pull last year. The ultimate goal of the bill is to prevent manufacturers such as Tesla and Rivian and Lucid from being able to sell in Mississippi, being able to set up dealerships throughout the state and sell. It would grandfather the one location that Tesla has now, but would not allow them to open up any more locations in the state. Okay,
so that's I appreciate you clarifying that. When I first looked at this bill and just browsed at it, I didn't really understand what it was attempting to do that's different than what is in place now. But obviously Tesla has an outlet there in Rankin County. It's visible from I-20 there. Right. And so I assumed that was owned and operated by Tesla, by the corporation. I don't believe that is like an independently owned dealership that is franchised from Tesla. Rather, it is owned by Tesla. And as I recall, there are no vehicles for sale on the lot, but there are demonstrator models that prospective buyer can test drive and then place an order, which would be delivered then back to that location. And it also provides service capabilities as well. So, but this law, so that was allowed under present law. Tesla could not sell directly to consumers without having a physical presence, a physical store, if you will, retail outlet in the state to do so. Under present law, this takes that a step further, as I understand it. And I'm phrasing this as posing it as a question here, Josh, that this would not even allow that situation. A manufacturer could only sell their products through a dealership owned by a third party, more consistent with the legacy model where the mainstream sort of legacy manufacturers they franchise their outlets, these dealerships, to independent owners. This would not even allow that or would require that of these manufacturers. Have to sell them through independently owned outlets. Couldn't set up their own corporate-owned stores like we've seen in Brandon. Go.
Right. That's exactly right. It is designed to add a middleman to that buying process and delivery process. So it would have to go through a third-party entity in the state. And legacy was the right word. The legacy buying process that we have with dealerships, that's what they're trying to protect.
Okay. So that would force, if a manufacturer springs up, of course, no secret, there are a lot of companies that aren't traditionally known as being in the automaking business that are talking about producing and offering vehicles for sale. Apple comes to mind. They're making enormous investments, and they plan to introduce a vehicle, in a couple of years. It's not too far out. So
right. And they've been research, R&D for several years now.
Yeah.
And they're going to do something. And it's interesting you brought up the Apple model. So iPhones, you can buy an iPhone online. You can pick out the colors, the configuration, have it shipped to your house. You can have it shipped to an Apple-owned store in the state, right up there, Renaissance Mall. Or you can, pick it up at Best Buy. A third-party entity, same concept, where you have a manufacturer-owned store that you can purchase through pickup, delivery, service, but also a third-party entity, Target, Best Buy, Walmart, that you can walk in and buy that same product. Same kind of concept. It boils down to the freedom of choice for consumers of how they want to buy their vehicles and where they want to buy their vehicles.
Yes.
And the concerted effort to add more government into this process is just mind-boggling. It's innovative process that we're squashing here.
So the iPhone analogy that you so eloquently described there, Josh, would be referred to as multiple routes to market. And that literally is the terminology. It's called RTM, route to market. And so what you described is completely accurate. There are multiple routes to market for a consumer to acquire an iPhone. Some are through some buy through corporate-owned stores, not far from our location here. There's an Apple store, and then some are through the telecom, the wireless service providers, or they could go to traditional retailers such as Best Buy, or even buy online, remotely. All that is available. So with respect to the car, this law here, though, with respect to selling vehicles, this sounds to me like they're restricting the route to market, that it has to flow through an independently owned dealership that has a physical presence inside the state of Mississippi. Is Apple planning to authorize and franchise dealerships to sell their vehicles? Because at this point, Tesla doesn't do that. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, they are direct to consumer sales, and I assume Apple would want to go that same path. I can't imagine, as efficient of an operation as they are, I cannot imagine them wanting to add layers to their distribution, unnecessary layers.
Yeah, and it's certainly not like there isn't technology available where a person could configure their vehicle exactly like they want it and hit the button and arrange for the financing and complete the sale and have it shipped to them. I mean, you can do that with the legacy manufacturers now for the most part. You just have to go pick it up and transact that purchase, complete that purchase with a local dealer or a dealer of choice. Right. It doesn't necessarily have to be local, but it has to be a dealer in the state of Mississippi. This just seems to me like something that's inevitable. This is disruption that is going to impact this industry and many other industries. I'm not sure we can stop it or that we want to stop it, honestly. I think this is just the next evolution in the experience of buying a vehicle.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we want to stop it. I think this is the evolution of that experience. This is the innovative measures coming forward with the electric vehicle market. And I think last time we talked, the EV sales were about 2.5% of total U.S. sales. They're almost 6% this last year. I mean, it's a fast growing market, and the writing's on the wall. And so I think turning business away and closing off the state of Mississippi to that market is just bad business. I think it's a horrible idea, and I'm surprised to see so many conservatives on board with this bill that ships jobs to other states. It's going to prevent jobs from coming to our state and technology and innovation from coming to our state.
Yeah, it's estimated that EV sales will comprise 10% of total unit sales in this coming year. So it's growing. It's growing rather dramatically. I guess I also have concerns, and maybe I'm just being overly concerned here, that manufacturers such as Apple, new manufacturers coming onto the scene that are going to start producing electric vehicles. Well, Mississippi is known for the automobile industry. We have a number of automobile plants in the state. I wonder if they start thinking, well, we're not going to go to Mississippi because they're not friendly to our overall business model, and then we lose out on opportunities for these big folks to locate factories here, produce jobs and economic activity. Is that something you've thought about as well? You guys have thought about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why would you go to a state that crafts policy against your business model and offer economic incentives to that state? Why would you do that as a business? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I think I think we're setting ourselves up for failure and getting behind the curve on the front end of a technological shift in this market space, in vehicles in general. And I think we're setting ourselves up to be behind the 8 ball right out the gate.
Yeah, we're at a competitive disadvantage in so many ways in that respect, because this is the way it's going, and Mississippi is not going to change that. Our laws here aren't going to change the broader shift in the industry. Josh, appreciate you coming on and explaining that to us, and we'll be tracking this legislation, as I know you guys will be as well. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
We'll step aside for a break here on Middays. We're coming right back in the Element Wealth Studios.